On the internet.
On the internet. Hello and welcome to Family RPG. I'm David Leonard, your guru guide. In this game, we are playing Lotus Dimensions. Lotus Dimension. This is actually a Kickstarter RPG that basically included the starter box and a whole bunch of big, thick booklets of the player's guide, the guru guide. So it's just GG, everyone. GG.
You're the guru.
And eights. Eights all around.
Eights all around. The game works basically with 68, and they're each different colors.
Oh, he got white and black.
Well, that one that came with the box, so you can at least know how to play. And the idea is that the guru guide doesn't roll anything. The players do. And so the players who roll their white dice determine which dice are same color meant for them, and which set are meant for the obstacle. And you roll one set, and you add whatever your 8-point related
the three pedals.
The pedals are, yeah, versus the goal. So we'll get into that once we actually start rolling. But you have to make your characters. So there's several
go through
classes.
Who you want to be. There's a wanderer.
Several classes to choose from. And they all have a basic set of stuff included.
We all start off with 888 karma and 8 life points.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the idea of the karma is to go down, and for the life points to stay up. And if you fail certain objectives, you lose life points. But also the idea is to avoid conflict. Do not do anything negative or evil or harmful to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you can do it,
but you'll raise karma.
Yeah, there are negative consequences for shortcuts. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's also a section of general life. So while you're choosing stuff, I can read the general backstory that the players would know at this point. There's plenty more that the guru guide only knows, and that you find out much later on in the quest. So, like, this box initially came with just the first quest. It's called Liberation in the Zeppelins. And then the other 3 were eventually released separately. So quest 2 is Bearing the Drift, quest 3 is Archive of Silence, and quest 4 is Black Lotus Rising. Hint as to what's going on. And apparently there are quests 5 through 8 as well, but the backers did not get those.
That sounds like you.
Oh, wanderer. That's
multi-purpose tool, skateboard.
Yeah.
Fire starter, radio.
That's one of my choices. The wanderer.
Between that or the which one had the smoke bombs?
Well, that wasn't my choice.
Yeah.
Well, you wanted to like smoke bombs because in programming.
Yeah, it's in program. We had smoke doing that stuff.
Yeah.
So whichever one you choose, that's the one you automatically get 8 on your pedal, and then you can choose between 7 through 1 to where to put your other stats on your attributes.
Mm-hmm. So you always have your best at something and worst at something.
So each time we level
so
up,
how do you pick your manner, style, and class, or does that come with your character?
it comes. There's a list of them, but ultimately you can choose whatever your own is.
And there's also a karma coin, so even if you fail or succeed at your roll, the karma coin determines a positive or negative effect as well.
So sort of like advantage or disadvantage, kind of in Star Wars.
A little bit. I mean, there's different circumstances that are described in the campaign.
Yeah.
For
What are you? I'm assuming you've looked through this.
I've looked through them, yeah.
Which one are you picking?
I mean, I haven't really chosen one. I would, group decide which ones we want to do.
Well, we should all pick something different, so we have all high.
Well, obviously, yes,
things,
but there are 8 choices, so.
Okay, so I'll go with wanderer. Nobody else is picking.
Okay.
Where do you write that anyway? Let's see. This is the example.
Class.
Pre-runner of class. Okay.
I will tell you though that reading the full story of Lotus Dimension, kind of reminded me of Children of the Gods. Like we wrote Children of the Gods and then read this, and it's like, oh, there's a lot of our backstory.
Similarities.
Very similar. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So view, I had to put 8 in view.
Yep.
Then I can pick the rest of them.
Yeah, 1 through 7. Yeah.
And what's nice in the GM guide for the mission guide, it includes near the front the entire campaign, the entire quest, all the stats of all the enemies.
Okay, go ahead.
So you just look at that one page and it's like you can see.
Oh no, let's get you through this.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, character creation.
You can worry about the stats
After
when
the
you're
fact.
done.
Yeah.
yeah.
Primary resistance methods.
Okay. It's
Assuming.
land, living.
Yeah. Is there?
Treaty, finding hidden paths.
Hold on, let me.
Your stats are view, intention, speech, action, livelihood, energy, mindfulness, and concentration.
Indeed.
They identify it as Visa Lem C,
Yeah.
and they try to think of an acronym for this because we can't.
Yeah, not too great. Some of them, I'm pretty sure you can list off like every attribute there. Other ones, it's okay. You choose 2 items.
So yeah, that's
yeah.
why
Oh, you just picked.
I'm looking for.
I think it clarifies which one that could be the case.
It
So, like,
doesn't in the stat, in the sheet for it.
There are also separate sheets for maps and stuff in these
Yeah.
that are kind of stripping out, so you had to hold them close so they wouldn't fall out and see like
yeah.
advanced map of stuff.
Hmm.
I don't know.
It
where
was
this
a
goes in.
Kickstarter again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Game mechanics. I don't see where it says.
What now?
Well, like this has, at least this example sheet doesn't have all the equipment. So
Oh.
resistance methods, do you only get 1 or do you get the whole thing?
Yeah, I don't know.
Transcendent abilities, do you
Right.
get 1 or the whole thing?
Is it described in the beginning?
Attacking and judging character.
Well, okay, which one is this? This one is Illusionist. So for Illusionist, it has listed off expert sleight of hand to mystify, confuse, distract, and sarcastic, sometimes crude humor, wins people over to become an ally.
There's a list afterwards
So
of
only
certain things
2.
you add on later.
Well, okay,
Right,
there's,
the resistance methods.
so like for the Illusionist, how many resistance methods are there for that?
Looks like you get 2. Is
Okay.
there,
This one has listed off too, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
philosophy, game. Is there one, like, do you have a character guide there?
Well, there's 2 example.
So this is a starter set.
This is the Guru guide.
player.
So
Yeah.
this is for the
This is a
That's the
GM.
player book, that's the
This
GM
is
book.
the
Yeah.
GM book.
Well,
First step,
GM guy
create
saying about building character.
No, that's the point of that guide. Everything's
Yes.
supposed to be in there to build your
For the
character.
player, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this one has 2 primary resistance and 2 inventory.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 noble characteristics and 1 backstory.
Mana.
Makes sense.
Let's see. Oh,
Try.
gee. Right, take your backstory. Little
Character manner. Description, sketch, backstory.
So this one has barely climbing.
Okay.
Distraction.
That.
Gathering information.
Backstory, karma level, life points, reincarnations, strategy, encounters, situational, sample. It does not say.
Well, assuming the guides just say 2 of each, it seems to make sense. Choose 2 of the following. Or is there,
You mean the
is there a bigger list?
There's a bigger
Yeah,
list,
a bigger
but the
list.
only thing that says choose 2 of is
Inventory?
inventory
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe they meant to say choose 2 of.
for each.
Well, like, what is that one listed off?
That's the free runner.
Two.
It looks like
Running
4.
and climbing for distractions and information gathering.
Yeah, was that considered
and
4? Like
Free
running
runner
and climbing?
has running and climbing for escape or pursuit. I'm assuming that meant distractions.
Ah.
Feats of stamina and parent burden. Not even on there.
Here's the other example.
Information gathering.
Okay.
Not on there.
We suggest you start by reading the player handbook. This will lay the groundwork for the fictional world you're entering, how to build a character in it, and what to expect as far as game mechanics.
Okay. Welcome. Yeah, several names. Welcome. Character classes, character sheets, game mechanics.
And those are just extra blank sheets. Well, I guess the idea of this game, too, is that less people are necessarily needed to play it, because if you're trying to find a non-violent solution, you should be able to do it even with just 1 or 2 people. Obviously, the more you have, the better. But if you're going to have combat, you're going to have a bad time.
2 to 5 players, ages 12 and up.
Yeah. Although I don't think any 12-year-old would want to take the non-violent solution.
The first step.
Well, not necessarily. There was at least the claim on a picture I saw on Facebook that some father was running a D&D game for his daughter and her friends, and they came across a pack of wolves, and instead of attacking and killing the wolves, they gave the wolves some food and befriended them, and now they have pet wolves.
Have a wolf pack. Okay.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, I see. Okay, this one sort of designates that it does have just 2. Sarcastic, sometimes
So
crude
you
humor.
do manner and style.
I'll just write down a bunch of them and I'll pick 2 that I like.
You sure you won't just try to use all of them?
No, I'll just, well, it seems like after a while you get to add one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if I
So
write down
you
all
have
of
all the options if we point us to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to make it easier to rather than go back to the book and say, what else can I do? Okay, well, I picked these 2, living off the land and finding a hidden path.
Okay.
And when I get further into the character, I can add
So-
more by.
I'm assuming like living off the land, if we're in the urban setting, your biggest 2 trash cans.
Well, that
So
could
you
be
want
it. Yeah.
888 and karma.
Yeah. Well, by putting it in there, you're gonna have to mark that number down.
Eventually you'll erase it'll go lower, but you need to know what
Well,
it is
I
right
start
now.
out. I know it's 888, so I have mine underlined 888.
Okay.
Whenever time to subtract it, I'll put the subtractor number.
Okay.
The running total.
That would be the reverse of how it's supposed to work. Then.
The running
So it's
total.
888 of 888.
Yeah.
He just thinks he can underline it.
It wouldn't
and
be
then,
like -5 of 888. That would make sense.
Yeah. Oh, all right. That's
Okay, you look through real quick and see if you see.
Because these guys just have 2.
They're going to decide where you're going to put the rest of your numbers then? 7 through 1?
No.
There should be a description in there of the actual meaning of intention and speech and whatnot.
Yeah.
Although I suppose it doesn't really matter for these pre-made missions because it says exactly which ones you're going for, and you decide who wants to roll for it at that point.
Well, I figure we probably ought to pick different things so we don't end up that everybody has a lot on one thing and not much on the others. That's something we might need.
I just want to make sure I wasn't missing something. I mean,
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of general things, like generalities
Yeah.
listed off here, not big specifics. Like hardcore,
I mean,
this is
the only thing I can see based on this
similarities between 2, yeah.
is
Those are the only 2 examples they give us.
2 primary resistance methods and 2 pieces of inventory.
Yeah. Well, this one specifically sort of more or less indicates that.
So,
I mean, there certainly are 4 or 5 of the resistances for each
Right.
one, so it makes sense.
when I look
2
at
and 2.
here, I see 2.
Yeah.
And then I see 2 inventory, but there was another category on there. Between inventory, I thought.
Well, there's like advanced inventory and basic inventory.
Yeah, transcendent abilities.
That's the one.
Yeah. So we don't get those things until higher levels. So.
Yeah, so like the guy also
can worry about
explains
that.
there's like basically 8 spells based on light or dark karma.
For light, for dark.
Yeah, and so they basically have a guide.
So, do we just want to say 2
Nobody
from the
starts out
list,
with
and that
them,
makes sense?
So, which 2 items you're starting off with?
So 2 from the resistance methods.
Okay, yeah, I'm picking living off land and finding hidden path.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the spells are sleeping, weakening, silencing, immobilizing, perceiving, fortifying, projecting, and freeing.
Okay, transcendental. Transcendental, you can take 2 of those? Or
No, just
those
skip
aren't
down to
good.
inventory.
We don't do, okay, inventory. Multi-purpose tool. That sounds good.
But you'll find out more about magic when you unlock it in the campaign.
We're going to do
Magic achievement
Fire
unlocked.
starter.
Well, basically it says you can't start using magic until you get down below 800 in your karma.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Then there's another set that unlocks after 400.
Okay, so
We
you're
got
good.
no spells. Yeah, let's see. Is there something else for these manner and style?
Yeah, that's
or-
after this last part.
There is
Okay.
a list here, or make your own.
Oh,
Suggestion.
manner is the way a person behaves or toward others. Let's see. Okay, well, probably.
Financial
Roguish.
Times journalist.
It is a bizarre world we're gonna find ourselves in.
That is a weird thing.
There are some interesting words in here.
Yes, isn't there?
Look at
Whole
your
croonish.
This is debonair.
That's Rastafarian. I can't spell it, so forget that.
Yeah, good idea.
Yes, please don't be a Rastafarian.
No.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna go with. Oh, goth. I always like goth.
Goth.
Yeah.
Do you know what you want?
No, I don't. Go right ahead.
Let's see.
Okay, so you already put in your extra numbers there?
I did.
Okay.
This is Matt.
So what's your lowest number then?
My lowest number is mindfulness.
Mindfulness. Okay. So
My highest would be view.
mindfulness would be shaman. Great, I get to be a shaman.
You want to be a shaman?
Well, to be
Yeah.
opposite of you, pretty much.
Okay.
Shaman.
Shaman, yeah. Shaman.
You go be rock shaman?
What?
Or whatever that is. Not
Rastafarian?
Rastafarian.
No.
No.
So that would be mindfulness. Good mindfulness. 8 there. Visioning, discussion, invitation to cleansing and calming.
Hey, that sounds good.
Invitation to cleansing. Could you please take a bath?
Okay.
Sorry, that's the work phone.
Okay.
All right, I'm thinking journalist.
Okay. It is very possible that your party will go off the rails and drive toward gameplay you did not prepare, especially in advanced groups. Be prepared to be flexible. You can guide the party back to your plan or go along with them and see where things go. Be prepared to quantify free-form encounters in the same way structured encounters are designed. Thanks, guys. If they go off the rails, they're probably doing something wrong. That's the thing.
So can you have more than 888 karma?
No.
So if you start gaining karma and you already have max, you can't go any higher.
Nope.
You're as bad as you can be right now.
Okay.
You got your character names?
Yes.
Okay, character name, Old Man Leonard.
Bran. B-R-A-N.
Okay. John Stossel?
No.
So people are going to call you Wheat Bran?
Well, I guess it's better than Bran Flake.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Something.
I would say a modern or near future kind of name.
Right.
Not that, yeah.
Nothing-
So used to coming up with medieval names or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Percival.
I'm Hector.
Hector.
Okay, so
Dude, man.
so
I'm
my
a Cavalier Super.
my next lowest number is in intention too. So if you want to put higher numbers in those.
Alright. I'll put a 7 in attention, sure.
Okay, and then my next was speech.
Let's go.
Next lowest.
We'll
you
just
said?
go with Alan.
Yeah.
Why
Alan.
not?
It's 2 L's or 1 L?
1 L. Not that I really think it matters for your sheet versus mine, but
Yeah.
okay. Resistance methods.
Get your manner, style, and class.
Will innovate. Rhetorical tools to incite or inspire large groups.
So that's a journalist for you.
Mm.
You're being rhetorical, right? So my concentration is 1 now. 'Cause, man, I don't know. I can't have a concentration.
Oh, dude, man.
My concentration's 4.
Okay, and
So what's your rate on them?
speech.
Okay. Cool.
So you're the face of the group.
Go.
I'm pretty good speech. I got 6.
So I trust the journalist more than the
The
high
surf
high shot. Yeah.
I have fortune telling cards and crystals, man. Don't you believe in crystals?
I don't think anyone does.
Here we go. I'll drive out the salt. That's my prop.
So level-wise, you're all level 36. So I don't know where that comes into play.
It's front center.
Oh, yeah, sorry, okay, you're right, okay.
So we're all 36?
Yep.
Yes.
So how do they...
Because that's what the numbers add up to.
Oh my gosh.
It's amazing, huh?
Yeah.
It will increase or decrease as the quest progresses.
Uh-huh.
As you lose karma, you will gain
The
in a
next
significant
level
way.
item is Truth Serum?
Yeah, because why not?
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, apparently we have 0 in chat, but we have watching Apple Bad Apple, Commander Root, and Slow Cool.
Okay, so nobody.
However that works out, yeah.
Hmm.
Apple Bad Apple, that's a new one though.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm Hector, I'm Cavalier Surfer Shaman.
Mm-hmm.
Discussion and visioning are my primary resistance methods. I have a fortune telling cards and a crystal. Crystal right here.
Okay.
I haven't
Yes.
chosen my background story or characteristics.
Nobody
Okay.
gets that.
Well, I guess I don't know if there's a list of them later on or earlier in the player's handbook there, but background.
List of what?
Background or
Oh, I made my own
Different
background.
set, yeah.
Oh, of course you did.
I was left behind during a trip to Washington, D.C. I wandered about the Capitol until I got kicked out. Now I'm living in the underground.
Oh.
Okay.
That's not bad. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So what's yours, Mr. Hector? You just get high all the time?
Whoa.
No, this is a different actor.
Obviously,
I
this one
prefer
dies.
spiritual enlightenment, man.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So while you're finishing up over there, I'll just read the introduction, summary
Sounds
of the.
good.
The year is 2088, and planet Earth is controlled by faceless corporations, or possibly one mega conglomerate. Artificial intelligence reached a turning point in 2050 when corporate-driven AI programs began making major decisions in the name of efficiency, escalating bottom-line decisions to an extreme. Now corporate militias enforce fascist control over a global populace that generally lives in an anesthetized consumer haze. Dissent against the power structure is rare and results in disappearance or execution enacted by corporate rule of law. Information is expensive, and the media is a farce.
As far as that.
However, much of the global populace believes they live in a golden age, effortlessly fun and convenient and tailored to them. And this belief is fed and confirmed by the infotainment in media that reflects it back to them. Medicine is advanced and life expectancies are long. Recreational drugs are free and legal, and large segments of the human population spend much, in some cases all, of their lives in virtual reality environments.
Yeah, we do.
Those living mostly in the physical world utilize augmented reality layers created by AR ocular lenses that transform everything from the colors of their walls to the candidates on their ballot into a fun, customizable, user-centric, and ad-filled experience. The workforce has been increasingly automated. Humanity's primary contribution to the corporatocracy is through personal data and product testing. Physiological data, private moments, opinions, hopes, and dreams. People offer this up and more for a generous chunk of change that comfortably covers their shelter, food, drugs, and entertainment. Enormous housing projects and subdivisions are designed as product testing communities, where residents do nothing all day but offer feedback and submit to observations for their use of products delivered to them, one after the other. A lottery system determines entry to these immensely popular communities. Of course, roughly a third of the population still works in conventional jobs of old that keep the system running: medicine, construction, maintenance. These workers often manage teams of intelligent machines, but human decision-makers are still needed in various mid-level arenas within society in order to maintain the systems that corporate AI control at the higher levels. These workers enjoy a 3-day work week and plenty of vacation time. Despite the outward projection of the worldwide utopia, the sense of contentment with the genuinely positive aspects of contemporary life is undercut by the widespread complicity in decades of fascist rule, brainwashing, and mass executions. Any public acts, or sometimes even thoughts, that question the power structure and public order are met with swift and extreme violence in the name of security. The quashing of insurgents is publicly celebrated. Humanity has grown blind to the darkness controlling them. Spiritual practices have mostly lost their luster, though organized religion still exists as part of the social structure, much like the bowling leagues, craft circles, or gaming groups. However, one sect of Buddhism has recently risen in popularity across every continent: the Black Lotus. Monks of the Black Lotus sect are known as Bodhas. They wear black robes and make a show of meditation and prostration in public, but they serve as the eyes, ears, and hands of the top-level corporate powers.
They also play Magic the Gathering, and you get the Black Lotus card.
Pockets of citizens are skeptical of the corporate power structure, especially since there are no individual phases of authority and accountability. Power defiance is a dangerous business, and most organized resistance was snuffed out long ago. The last significant uprising was in 2067 and was put down in a matter of hours. Rumors have begun to circulate about a group known as the Nobles, named for their adherence to the Noble Eightfold Path. The Nobles stirred near revolt in the 2050s in the name of non-violence, free will, and mindfulness. They have mostly faded from mainstream public consciousness, but some say remnants of the organization still exist.
So we are the rebels.
Yep. So, you ready?
Sure.
Okay.
The room is dimly lit, and by the time the monk enters, his robes sweeping the rough wooden floor, you have been waiting a long time. But you have been searching for years for an invitation to a meeting like this one, and you have traveled far and in great secrecy to reach his dingy hostel in Lumbini, Nepal, the birthplace of the Buddha. What's a little more waiting after such a long journey? You're here now, and you only hope that means you're closer to learning the truth.
This isn't Jersey?
Do the nobles actually still exist? Who are they? And can you throw in with them to lend your skills to resistance effort? The old monk's eyes move from face to face in the room, but you keep your own eyes on him. You've already scoped out the others waiting with you. They're a strange group, to be sure. None of you have spoken yet, unsure of who you can trust. But they must be here for the same reason you are: fear at the future, rage at the system, hope that all is not yet lost. My name is Tenzang, says the monk finally. In a moment, I would like to learn your names too. Each of you is here because you have sought out this gathering. By the time we finish here, I hope you will have the information you were seeking. If you have felt for some time that there is more to this reality than you are being told, then you are correct. There are other realms, other beings, other powers at work in the world. You are here because you sense that, and because you want to help. The Black Lotus is obscuring the truth, and your talents are needed to expose it. I will tell you more about their plans and the work ahead of you, if you choose to continue. But first, if we are to grow together, we must introduce ourselves. Who would like to begin?
I'll begin.
Yes.
Don't speak very well. I've been down in the bowels of Washington D.C. subway system and finally escaped.
You certainly smell like it.
Thank you. I am Bran.
Wheat Bran?
Yeah, no.
Just run.
Unfortunately, a brand, a flake goth wanderer. A flaky goth wanderer.
Ah.
Yes, I know. It's ironic, isn't it? Don't you think? I do. And you, sir, who are you?
I'm Hector. Hector Dewdrop.
Sounds familiar. I remember your voice. I've heard you in the hallowed halls of the underground in D.C.
I'm a Cavalier Server Shaman,
Oh, okay.
you might say. Would you like me to tell you your fortune?
No thanks.
Alright, man.
Okay. And
Well, I'm Alan, and I'm here to get the scoop on this latest story.
uh-oh.
You have just finished introducing yourselves, and you may be thinking this may be an even stranger and more interesting group of seekers than you'd imagined. When the door to the room bursts open and
You work for the man or something?
12 men
Is
in
this
black
formal
robes.
as a style?
12 men in black robes, bodas, storm the room. They pull black hoods over your head and the heads of your companions, including Tenzang. The hood over your head is wet and smells like a chemical you aren't able to identify before you very quickly lose consciousness.
I smell a lot of chemicals, man. I know.
I know it's not. So, you awaken in a small dark room with metal walls. Feels like just a moment ago, you were in that back room with the hostel in Lumbini. Where are you now? You look around and see the other attendees at the meeting, all in various stages of regaining consciousness. You had thought your trip to Nepal was safely disguised as a sightseeing trip. You traveled here alone and told no one where you were going. Clearly someone knew your reasons, and no one from your old life is going to figure out where you are now. Which is where, exactly? Why does this room seem familiar? It only takes a minute to realize that this weird room is
A
it's a
bathroom.
shipping container.
Oh.
You're locked in a steel shipping container. This isn't what you signed up for, or maybe it is. The monk, Tenzang, he isn't in the container with you. What happened to him? And what was he about to tell you about those black robes when those black robed monks stormed in? You see your companions patting their clothing, and you check your own. Yep, you still have all the items you brought with you, cleverly embedded in their clothing so the kidnappers missed it. So you have your stuff, and you're probably lucky to be alive. But now what? The warm, humid air smells of the sea. The steel surfaces of the shipping container are damp to the touch. There's a jagged rectangle about the size of a loaf of bread cut into one wall of the shipping container. It's too small to climb through, but you can look out.
I look out. I'm getting seasick.
You and your companions take turns looking out the window. The night sky is blotted with stars. You hear murmurs of other prisoners in adjacent containers, and assume they can also hear you. From the view, you ascertain your shipping container is on the 4th story, meaning it's stacked on top of 3 others, and there are 3 more above you. You can see that the window is actually cut from a panel that serves as the door. The hinges are rusty, and the lock on the outside, if you poke your head through far enough to see it, looks old and rusty too. In the ship's dim security lights, if you watch long enough, you see 2 guards making their rounds, circling the ship in opposite directions. They pass each other occasionally at either end of the narrow aisle on the deck of the cargo ship. Both carry large guns. They do not appear to be bodas, more like hired henchmen. What do you do?
I wish one of the other inventory options was star maps.
Well,
If I had chosen star maps, you go back. Let's see if I can triangulate and figure out where we are.
I have my multi-purpose tool. Is there a lock or some kind of
Is
You
it
want to
fastener
break out?
driver?
You want to
door?
break out of the container?
Well, I want to attempt to open the container, so if we found a reason to get out, we could quickly.
It's
I
not a
don't
screwdriver.
intend to necessarily get out. So I have a multi-purpose tool with me.
Yes.
Yes.
Not sure how well my crystals are. Distraction.
Alright, well, the stats needed to break out of the shipping container
Yes.
are action,
Atun.
livelihood,
Okay.
and concentration.
Let's
And the total
see
needs to
here.
be 15. So you roll all your dice, and you count the ones that are, I assume in your case, blue, for you, and the ones that are black for the goal at hand.
How's your concentration,
So-
action, livelihood?
Oh, concentration. So
11.
that's,
11?
I get 15 total.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So,
Oh, that's very nice.
So for me, let's see, there's another,
so you roll your 3 and you subtract the other 3? Is that what you said?
You have
okay.
you have those 3 dice that you rolled, and you add to the 15.
20.
Or yeah, to add to your 15.
Yeah.
So
32
30.
total.
Okay. So then he said the goal was 15.
Yeah.
Plus whatever you hit with that.
Yeah,
So that's right.
that adds on to the difficulty.
Yeah.
So roll that and add 15 to it.
Uh-huh. Okay, so it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
The total.
11. So
That's 26.
okay, so you still got higher.
And
Okay.
coin flip though.
Coin flip.
We have white.
Positive. Okay.
You notice the guards seem sleepy and lazy.
Okay.
Okay.
So you successfully open the lock.
Okay. Open the lock.
It also suggests if you're trying to just pick the lock from the inside or whatever you got. But,
Yeah. Or whatever. It's
Yeah.
a lock. Or
Mhm.
could be just a bolt or something. Doesn't have to be a lock for our container ship where we're going to go.
You could also
Okay.
try talking to the other prisoners.
Okay, guys.
Oh, it's just 3 of us, or are there more people in the room?
The door is
There's, in
unbarred.
in your immediate cell, there's just the 3 of you. But you can
Okay.
hear above and below you and beside you,
Oh.
there's multiple layers.
Now, what do the inventory and resistance methods add? That was kind of my.
It should have explained it somewhere in there.
Not so much. No.
Yeah.
Like obviously, inventory would be like, okay, you have an opportunity to use this since you have the tool for it.
Yeah,
So,
I think
right.
the inventory basically is suggesting that if you have a valid reason to include this, you know, it focuses more, like about half and half on describing exactly what you're doing, and then the other half is just the dice roll to see if it actually works or not. But you have to be able to have a good description of what you're doing. Like he has a multi-purpose tool, he's going to try to pick the lock.
Yeah.
And we're successful. So,
Yes.
gentlemen, what should we do next?
I have fortune
I got the
telling
door
cards.
unlocked.
We can play 52
No.
Alright, those aren't 52 cards here.
I have a fire starter if you have anything to burn. But I guess right now we don't. So,
Do we see anybody like in the near vicinity?
Armed guards circle the deck on a ship full of prisoners facing a future of slavery. So it's less likely for you to be able to talk to the people above and below you. But let me see. I'll
Side
show you
to
the half of
side.
the map that you're probably going to see. There's an armed guard here and here. You're here, and there's like stacks above and below.
now is there like something we can climb on? We can do like.
You can
up
climb down the bars of the stacks below you.
We couldn't climb up to the top.
But these guys are like regularly circling around.
Yeah.
So we can talk to at least how many others can we hear?
Well, you said the one was this guy was
You said there was
asleep.
left to the right as well?
Yes, there's left to the right, and above and below you.
Why a discussion and visioning?
Yeah.
In order to seek information from other prisoners, you need intention, speech, and energy.
Okay.
Let's see, I got a total of 15 there.
That puts me at 13.
Dad?
Let's see.
Fine, lower.
Attention, speech, and energy. I haven't got much of it.
Okay.
I end up with 12.
Okay.
I got
So I'll try that.
The goal is 9.
Okay, oh, that should be easy then, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, depending on how much they roll.
Yeah.
So the difficulty. Okay, so let's see. I said that was 15. Plus, let's see, it's 21, 26, 29 versus theirs. 9 plus 6, 15, 18, 22.
What was yours?
29.
Okay.
See? And. Hey.
You hear mention of Tenzang.
We don't hear his voice, we just
You hear mention of someone talking about him. Prisoners in adjoining container cells inform you that every escaped attempt they have ever seen resulted in executions and bodies thrown overboard to disappear into the throats of sharks. In fact, the locks on many container cells are broken, but no one even thinks of attempting to escape. It's the middle of the night, maybe 2 a.m. 2 guards on duty and 4 more are asleep in the cabin located in the upper deck overlooking the entire cargo area. You also learn that the ship is anchored about a mile off the coast.
Oh,
When
we're
the
anchored.
Yes, when the containers reach capacity, the ship will take them to labor camps on a remote part of another continent. The guards were overheard today saying that the prison barge is now full. The ship will head out to sea in the morning, which means you need to get out and fast.
Okay. We're looking around. Do we see any indication of the lifeboats? Or any way to escape on another?
There is a smaller yacht docked outside of the ship, but it seems like you're far enough away from shore that, and there's also like spotlights going around too, that it's very unlikely for you to
Okay.
get very far.
I still
How
think
far
our,
is the control center?
The control center.
yeah, the bridge is
Bridge, the...
Captain, we're on the bridge. Anyway. Where's the bridge?
Or the armory. If we're able to throw away all the guns, then
Well, if the
we
guards
can
walking
shoot.
around are already armed.
Well,
Okay, well, there's no description of how much these do, you know, how far these are. I was like 5 foot squares or whatever. But now that you have the full description, I can show you that this is the upper deck that you can see kind of sort of through these other collections of cells.
Okay.
That
So what's that big thing in the middle? Is that another? It's not a giant cell. What is it? What's it supposed to be?
it's hard to write. A lot of these things just aren't described. Let's see.
But there's so much detail in this game.
Yeah.
You hear talk of an odd monk who is also among the prisoners.
Yes.
So,
Talk. We're listening.
in order to explore the cargo ship, the roll is for concentration, view, and livelihood.
That's not me.
Okay.
I got 10 on that.
That gives
View,
me 17.
Okay.
Concentration. And livelihood.
You're at 17 as well.
17.
Okay, so which one do you want to do it?
Let me think.
Sure. Screwy dice are me. D8s are the challenge.
So we're gonna.
Exploring the ship.
The goal is 10. At least for the enemy. Promise, yeah.
So 18. I got 29 to 27.
Okay. And the karma roll.
Okay.
Ooh, you find a cache of weapons.
Oh.
That's bad.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but we can throw them away, though.
You could.
My point.
Well, I don't think we just throw them away. We take the firing pins out, so they won't know they're not going to work. And
Oh, look at disabling them, you mean.
disable the weapons.
Okay.
Yes.
There's an option.
That
You
gives,
go for that.
gives them confidence. Yeah, I've got a tool to do that.
As you explore, you see the two guards continue to circle the stacks of cargo containers. You see the large yacht tied to the cargo ship.
Well,
The
it's
bottom,
actually tied to the cargo ship.
yeah, the bottom row of shipping containers are empty with unlocked padlocks on the doors.
Okay.
So apparently they're going to start adding more people to those cells. And you
So
also
if we look around, do we see any ships bringing more people in? Any
there is a computer terminal in a small room on the deck. If you have a hacker, you can access it.
Nope, no hacker in the group.
No hacker in the group.
Okay.
If we were trying to go the non-Paragon route, we could try to put those weapons that we found into the empty cells in the far back, so that the new guards wouldn't be able to see them. And then as the prisoners are thrown in there and they wake up, now they have guns. We're not shooting them. The other.
Yeah.
Then that would be the non-Paragon.
No one's supposed to get hurt, John.
I'm not hurting.
We're not
them.
forcing anyone to hurt. We're just
No,
putting them
no.
in a place that they're currently on.
Someone's going to get hurt if you don't dispose of them.
I think disabling them.
Disabling
yes.
them.
Yeah, because then we give them false confidence that they have a weapon. Yeah, it's no good.
They don't automatically know that something's wrong because the guns are
Well,
missing.
Right, yeah. So now they don't know anything's wrong, and if they go to get their weapons, then we have a better chance that they're not going to work because we just disabled them. And they won't know that until they try
So,
and fire.
how are you disabling them exactly? Are you just tossing them out the
well, no.
portholes, or
No, we disable the way we take the firing pins out.
okay, take the
Yeah.
ammo and firing pin, try to just stow it out.
We'd even leave the ammo in. Without the firing pin, it won't shoot.
Okay.
It'll go click, click, and then nothing happens.
Nothing to trigger the bullet. Literally, trigger.
Eventually, you head forward and you find Tenzang.
Or we could plug up the barrel, so the first bullet explodes in the barrel, and
That would be harming them.
wouldn't harm them, not necessarily. But it would ruin the gun.
Semantics
you know.
again.
All right.
Your
Well,
first
anyway,
squib doesn't hurt you.
No. So anyway. What do they call it when they put a plug in the cannon? There's a name for that when they disarm or
Demilling?
well, no, when they get rid of old, like they'll put a cannon in front of a building, military building, but they don't want it to ever be used, so they cork it. They put a plug in it. There's a name for that, but I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is demilling, but
Yeah,
So we find our master.
spiking, I
Yes,
guess.
Tenzang is still waking up, disoriented
Okay.
and dazed. It seems he was knocked out longer than the rest of you. I did not anticipate that. Is all he's able to say at first, but within a few minutes he's able to gather himself. He assures you that if you can find a way to escape the cargo ship, once on land, he can help you guide you to safety.
Hmm.
Do you know where we are, Matt?
I'm sorry, I do not.
So, wait a minute. You just promised we have safety. You don't even know what part of the world we're in right now.
You got to keep his ball. Anyway.
So,
Uh,
you
Look at their ball.
you got two options: either evade or trap the guards with little or no help from other prisoners and cruise away on the yacht, or take control of the entire ship and liberate the prisoners. And either way, you're going to have to describe how you're going to do that.
mm-hmm.
let's
Okay.
see.
Wonder how many people are in the cab at the main.
If you can free all the prisoners, you can get a lot of karma for it.
We reduce our karma by
And
Yeah.
reduce your karma, yeah.
But then liberating them by probably having to.
Well, no.
No,
The best
yeah.
way would be if we can stealthily get into the main cabin and lock it up.
What's your character?
Shaman. Discussion
Shaman?
visioning. So you read them their fortune, about it.
Okay.
Or throw a crystal at them.
So
Well,
some of the guards are asleep, correct?
Yes. There's
Two
4
in the morning.
guards in the control area that are sleeping, and 2 patrolling.
Well, I say we take the lock we had to lock the ones that are sleeping in their room.
There
Mhm.
we go.
Okay.
Is a type of room that can be locked shut with a.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Let's assume it's one of the. It's a slightly better version of the shipping container we were like. Only probably with real beds. Okay.
Even that, either way, is either part of the plan to trap or evade the guards, or to take control of the ship. Which one are you going for?
Want to go for broke? Take control of the ship?
Yeah.
If you take control of the ship,
I'm the only way I'm thinking on the other ones is either into the cargo containers or climb down to the yacht with one of the what am I thinking? The life preservers that's attached to a string on the rail. Start up the yacht, wait for them to climb, jump, well, putting it in gear, and then going back up the side. So they're
So they
Going on.
think
there are
we
sharks, but.
Wait a minute. You're saying so you trick them into thinking we got off the ship and they've been chasing it.
they go onto the yacht.
thinking we got
and
away.
We then get back onto the boat.
Okay, sounds like a plan. Yeah, I like that.
So the two parts are locking the guards in place that are
Yeah,
asleep.
So we lock partially guards in, and the other 2 guards we attract them
then-
off the ship.
Get the other 2 to chase someone onto the yacht, who then climbs back aboard the ship without being
Right.
detected.
Okay.
So the ship can
Okay.
get on its way.
Everybody's going to need to roll action, energy, and concentration.
Action, energy, concentration.
Concentration. Yep.
I'm doomed.
Everyone needs to roll this.
Oh,
Let's see.
I got 6.
Oh.
What's wrong with my 3
I got
words?
7.
Okay, so
Dad, please save us.
I've got 17 is just the basic thing.
Alright, let's see what each of you get then.
Are we
Okay.
rolling with our 3 extra or?
Only our 3, right?
So
All
I got
3 roll for each of your whether
30.
each of you
Oh, okay.
need to succeed, and however many failures there are.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
We'll alter the deal. Yeah, everybody.
so I got
Oh,
17.
that's even worse.
17 plus 13. That's
Okay.
30.
30, good. What was your the roll will be at 18.
18.
Yes.
Oh, you mean the other? I need to roll for the other people?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh, great! I love it!
Oh, that's very nice.
1, 1, and
Yes.
2.
Okay.
We're
Where's
adding
that
4
18?
plus 18.
Yes.
Because it's, we're trying to take over a ship, so yeah.
Okay, 4 plus 18. So we're.
You succeed heartily.
I succeed, yeah.
You have 2 successes there practically.
Yeah, okay.
There has to be an easier way to do this math.
So, I got a 15 for myself.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And a 35 for them.
I'm just doing it this math.
Oh.
Okay, so
18 minus
since I
my
have
7 is 11.
since I'm a stealthy person, I've attracted the other guards off the ship and made it back to the ship successfully. So now what are you guys doing? What?
There's penalties for rolling that low.
Yeah.
10,
But that was my goal, was to get the other guards off the ship.
24.
So these guys have tried to lock the guards in, so they're gonna say they have a key and they
24
got
was
out.
31. 31 bad.
Not as bad as mine.
Okay.
I had the 20 difference.
You lose 1 life point. You lose 2 life points.
Yeah, I do.
And you're the one on the yacht trying to distract them, and you
Oh.
don't get back.
Okay.
Ah.
So, like, they capture me on the yacht, or I'm just not able. What's
They
going on?
capture you on the yacht. You two
Okay.
are on the
Okay.
boat. Everyone else
Alright.
chased after you,
All right. So I went.
and you're basically the scapegoat.
Yeah. All right, man.
Uh-huh.
You sacrificed yourself.
Yeah, but it's all right. I did not read this fortune for myself.
No.
Oh, and then the karma one too.
Yeah, do we get karma for each of us, or?
Just the one.
Okay.
Oh.
After gaining the upper hand on the ship, you notice a schedule for guards at Port Darmra, and there are gaps with no coverage. So you know when to dock at port and not be caught.
Okay.
Ah. Whoa.
But we have no idea how we're going to get
What luck.
you back.
Mm.
Yeah.
So the 2 guards and I are on the boat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
there's
yacht.
there's 6
Yacht.
guards.
Wait, the 2
No,
of them.
4 of them are in locked
Oh,
out.
4. Sorry, there are 2. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
My
4 are
bad. My
locked.
bad. 2 are locked. Yeah.
There were only 2 guards on duty at night.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, since we have control of the ship, should we, and the guards are locked up and the other 2 guards are not on the ship anymore, should we start releasing the prisoners? Just so that maybe they can help us take over the ship?
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good.
At this point, each of you can drop 50 karma points.
Yay.
Oh, goody. 838. Not you.
I
Oh, we,
sacrificed myself.
He still can.
He still
the,
can?
The plan was
I'm not
in,
dead yet.
in
Okay.
the end.
Yeah.
There's reincarnation in this game too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, how handy.
Yes, you reincarnate 7 times.
But you come back as something smaller each time.
If only. No. You actually come back with the same stats and the same background and everything. You just
Oh,
basically
yeah.
lose your equipment.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
You mean I lose my pad and paper?
Oh my.
Okay.
So.
So as you see the yacht is going toward land, you want to just follow off at a distance to try to see if you can recover your buddy.
Well, we're
So the 2 guards
planning
are
on.
taking me directly to land?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was curious. You think of taking him back to the ship, putting him back in his cell.
Well, they weren't quite done loading people off, and
Oh,
apparently
no.
since you escaped, they're going to,
Put me with the next batch.
yeah.
Okay.
So we got this giant container ship.
Mm-hmm.
Turn on a
heading
dime.
to a... Yeah.
Crash.
Well, can certainly try and steer this monstrosity.
You hear
Well.
from inside the other room, dum 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 dum.
Yeah, I'm assuming that. So have we been able to release the other prisoners?
Yeah.
Okay.
Were any of you a sailor?
Yeah. Or a hacker? Get on the computer?
No, you already don't have those.
Well, hey, it could be somebody else's captain.
I took some basic programming in high school.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So this is the general map of where you are in
Uh-huh.
India.
Of
Bay
course.
of Bengal. You're heading
Mhm.
toward the Dharma port.
Okay. So we have a schedule. We know when to pull, how to pull up.
What's the name of our ship?
Ship of Fools? Oh.
So I'm sure it has to be
It
on.
just says cargo ship floating prison.
The SS McGee.
Yeah.
Are you sure it's not the Greg?
Right?
Yes. Dharma and Greg.
Carmine Greg.
Okay.
Carmine Greg.
Nah.
Well, it's actually Dahamra. But whatever. Okay.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
The knob.
Okay.
So, what's your
anyways.
plan to get him back? They basically put you
Okay.
in stocks.
Yeah.
Properly shackled from
Stocks.
the
He wanted to be in bonds. Stocks and bonds. Okay.
He's a financial journalist.
We're gonna wait for inflation, then his stocks will expand. And he can get out of
If I can add karma for bad jokes.
What?
Okay.
That would be removing karma, right?
No.
Bad jokes being bad. I mean,
Okay, so we haven't got too much control of the ship. The best we're going to do is dock
Hopefully
release
not
all the
crash
people.
it.
and hopefully not crash it.
I've seen the controls on these size ships.
Yeah, well, a lot of it's automated too, I think.
Yeah, have you seen those
Do you know
videos
where the
though?
start button is?
Yeah.
we'll go for view, action,
Windows,
and concentration. View, action, and concentration. Which one of you two wants to steer the ship?
Let's see here. Where are we at here? You.
That gives me a 12.
Okay, I got 8 and plus the action 6.
I'd say you got that
14 and concentration.
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
That's 4, so it's 18.
All right. So
Shit.
the one you're adding to is just 10.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, really?
Whoa! Finally got some bad numbers there. Okay,
For
it's
yourself,
18, 19, 21.
Going for you.
10 plus.
Okay, 6, 7, 8, 9,
20.
10, 20.
So 20. Yeah.
21.
Just barely.
20.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just barely.
And coin?
Here you go.
Flip.
Flip our coin.
On the table, dude.
It's on. Yeah.
Yeah, I really think you need to use this thing now.
I
thought that was gonna cock.
Well, it's great.
Is there a rule for that?
Okay.
You bang the table and you don't understand.
Whatever side it falls on.
Okay.
But there's 3 sides.
Yeah.
Okay. What do we got?
So
I think ain't confident.
It's a big ship. It was tough. Even though
it is a big ship,
Good.
but with the white, you're able to.
dock it.
It like scrapes a little bit on the on the dock banks.
Yeah.
Like, the
Ruined the
people,
paint job.
the sailors and stuff are kind of looking, and it's like, okay. Also considering it's 2 a.m., 3 a.m., something like
Yeah.
that, so it's like they must be a little drunk, and they kind of just move on.
Well, anyway, okay. So
You got the ship parked. There's a ladder, whatever, just like a gangplank, leading
Yeah.
out that you can. You still got the guards trying to force
Yeah,
the door back
yeah.
open, but I
The
guess you
gang's
can
all here.
usher all the guys out.
Yeah. They're all
How many
around
people did
the
we
ship.
rescue? Or did they rescue?
Looks like about 30.
30.
Okay.
Okay.
But they're all like really tired and beaten and bruised, and some of them even still have kind of shackles on them as well.
Okay.
So
Where's the guy, the
Master.
master who said he could?
he's
lead
with
us
you.
out?
Tenzang is there too. Yeah.
He's going to lead us out.
Can we see where his yacht went?
The yacht
Where am I
is a distance away, probably about.
No, wait a minute. The yacht should have made it there first because it's a lot faster.
Yeah, the yacht was already
Oh,
there,
okay,
and
so
you're
it's
not
already
exactly
out.
sure. It just sped off,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
it's obviously somewhere on port. But
Okay.
whether you
Now, does somebody know where they have the holding for the new prisoners who are going to be put on the ship? Because undoubtedly that's where he'll be. Of course, we don't know.
Well, I guess the
because
question is, do we
were
see which
knocked
way
out.
the yacht went,
So we can.
up or down, so we could.
He
head
was
that
steering, so it probably would have been you looking for where my yacht
Yeah.
went.
All right, so view,
Okay.
concentration, and intention.
View, concentration, and intention. 14
Not the worst.
Yeah.
compared to.
Make it another 10.
Well, we're at 14. That's what I had. 14.
Oh, 33 compared to 19.
Okay, you're able to see that it's about maybe 80 feet, 100 feet away, kind of
100
thing.
feet.
That's like nothing besides that cargo ship.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. This is
100
hard.
yards?
Proportions,
I
yeah.
just yards, 100 yards. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
we are in India, so I guess it's meters.
Meters.
Okay. That sounds good. That's even more than you.
100
Furlongs.
Okay. For late.
The ship is just parked there. Obviously, they're.
We
there
saw
anymore.
where it was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, we can't
Let's
see
go
them,
check
but-
that out.
Okay.
You're gonna check out the. You're gonna investigate the yacht.
We're
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
See if we see anyone there.
Me bound and Jack.
No, I'm sure they've taken you to the holding cell for all the
Let's
others.
get a view, likelihood, and concentration on the yacht. Whoever wants to look at it.
Puts me at 17.
Likelihood?
Livelihood.
Livelihood. Oh, livelihood.
View,
on the
likelihood,
bottom.
and
You're at 17 also.
Okay. Yeah.
You go for this.
All right, I'll go for this one. Okay, so it has to be 20.
And it'll be 12 to add.
25 and plus 11 plus 12.
Yeah. 22.
23.
25 to 23.
Very close.
Alright,
All right.
23 is close.
You
Oh,
find.
point slip.
Oh yeah.
Alright.
You find a compass,
Yeah.
2 flares, handcuffs,
And a partridge and a parakeet.
and a rope.
Rope. And we take them all.
So list it off again so we can write it down.
A compass,
Okay, compass.
Okay.
2 flares,
Did you take the flares?
You seem like you'd be better for the flares.
Oh, all right. 2 times the fire starter. 2 flares. Okay.
handcuffs,
You take the handcuffs.
I'll take handcuffs. Why not?
and 50 feet of rope.
Okay.
Always 50 feet
I'll
of
take
rope.
them. 50 feet of rope. Okay.
Is it silk or hemp? Because the weight matters.
Hemp.
Don't give it to him.
He's not there.
Okay.
So judgmental, man. Like,
Okay.
just give me a couple feet. Alright, that's all I need.
All right. As far as where they have gone since that point,
Mhm.
there's a couple of shops and places, but it being 3 a.m., there's maybe like 4 or 5 people
Yeah.
wandering out, but you don't see the guards or him, so
Right.
they must have already gone wherever they were going.
Okay.
Are there any tire tracks or?
Now they seem to have gone on foot, but there's so many footprints from the day, not just it's sand, it's India,
Yeah.
so it's like
When I okay, well, what was the story of when I was being dragged away? Like, did they drug me, like they do everyone else, or did they just?
they shackled you with your arms behind your back and
Okay.
your
Yeah.
legs between each other, and they basically carried you on either side and walked you
Okay.
toward the prison cell.
So they didn't
Can
drag
I
you.
try to
Leave a
It's
trail.
that's what I'm thinking. It's the only thing I can think
Leave a
of.
trail.
You play fortune telling cards
Uh-huh.
to drop like every 20 feet or so.
Your hands are.
The only way I can use these
Uh-huh.
plastic cards.
Alright, alright.
All the really good ones go first, and we're gonna die horribly because of it. All our fortunes will be horrid.
Yeah.
We'll do action, energy, and mindfulness.
How'd you pick
Action.
those? Yeah. Hmm.
You hate me, don't you?
Okay.
Wait, where's mindful?
Okay, mindfulness I'm good at. The other two not so much.
Okay.
So that's already starting at 13 then.
Like the difficulty, it's an 8.
Hmm.
Okay.
It's not hard for you to, with your hands behind your back, be able
From my
to.
pocket is.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's another 10, so we get 23 for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's 1 there, so 1, 3, another 8. So 16. So 23 versus 16.
Okay, you're able to drop the cards.
Wait, flip.
Is good.
The guards
Okay.
notice the cards.
Okay, but like when do they notice me dropping the cards?
About halfway to your destination.
Okay, alright.
And one of them stops and starts picking them up.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like
Okay.
about half the cards drop, and then they're just like,
Ah.
oh, not this time.
But
So
that's-
you see about halfway in the direction, it looks like they were going to the local prison cell.
So they didn't
there's
get
like
all
a
the
jail.
cards. We saw a
The
card
local sheriff
or
office.
two. Okay.
Okay, I wrote down half beside my fortune telling cards. I have half my cards.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
You obviously pick up the rest of his cards, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, we pick up his cards. and go.
They're good cards.
Okay.
Nice artwork.
you seem to be heading in the direction of the local jail cell,
Yeah.
Okay.
local prison.
Okay. So we can't just go there though, because we're prisoners ourselves.
You're not dressed like prisoners. Are they dressed like prisoners?
No, you still have all
Oh,
your,
yeah?
your stuff on you and your regular clothes.
Hmm.
Well, to try and make it seem more legitimate, we could try and approach first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Just keep an eye on the place till then.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That way it's not middle of the night and suspicions are raised.
Right. Okay.
I guess the monk master has taken all the other former prisoners and led them to safety.
Yeah, so he points in the direction that they can head off to and each try to help each other remove whatever shackles and stuff are going through. And so Tenzang has not said much to this point, but now as you take cover, he invites you to sit in a circle. He addresses each of you by name, looking humbly into your eyes. Bran, Alan, where did Hector go?
Hector got caught. He was our decoy for the ship, and he wasn't able to get back to the ship when we got rid of the two guards.
I must apologize to you all, he says. I drew you together with the intention to recruit you into the secret service of the nobles and devote time to orienting you to everything that involves. Unfortunately, you are now public enemies of the state, and time is of the essence. The same dark forces that corroded this state have also corrupted a powerful monk who has taken control of an important monastery in a dimension previously unknown to you. That monk's name is Fra Damajaka.
How do you spell that?
Phra Dama
Not Rob Ruker.
Jaka. Fra Damajaka. He has enslaved the members of the monastery in order to extract rich deposits of crystals of Carlet from the cliffs around the monastery. These crystals are deep purple in color. They are powerful and valuable. I must save my fellow monks, but I cannot do it alone. If you choose to help me, I can shelter you from some aspects of the perilous future you now face. But this path will involve many risks as well. If you come with me, we will set out for Bodh Gaya immediately. It is there that Buddha realized enlightenment. It is there you will find a secret passageway to the Zeppelin realm. Will you come with me?
Zeppelin realm? Is there any way we can save our friend first?
Obviously, we are all needed for this journey.
Very well.
We were hand selected, of course.
Ah. But it was
Sure.
Pam.
Tenzang pauses, sits upright, focuses his gaze upon the ground in front of him. His quiet intensity magnetizes your attention, even more so when he begins to float into the air until he is levitating about a foot above the ground in front of your eyes. He floats for 10 seconds, softly lowers back to the ground, and speaks again. Forgive my exhibition, but extreme measures are required in this moment to convince you a modest monk such as myself does have some abilities to help guide you to safety. You may choose to go your own way. You will most certainly be met fairly soon by the same forces that captured us 2 nights ago.
There's actually just a ride behind him he's able to stand on and then lower himself. You didn't notice it.
Okay.
Well, we have to save our partner.
Yes, we have to save our partner.
You're still not quite sure why, but
Yeah.
because story requires.
And to give you the 50 foot of hemp rope.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
you guys have to come up with a plan to break him out of jail.
Okay.
There's nothing in here about that,
Uh-huh.
and I'm not coming up with it for you.
I got a crazy plan, at least to get us in there. Hopefully not recognized, and I'm really betting on a change of shift just to be sure.
Okay.
But it's worth a try.
Okay.
What's the skills necessary to run like hell? Because I feel like that's the backup plan.
That's going to
They're
be
Buddhist, so it's not really a hell. I mean, it's
action, energy, and concentration.
Concentration.
Right, so if this fails, no.
I mean, describe what you want to do, and I'll determine which 3 attributes are appropriate for it.
Well,
You want to break him out at night?
no. I want to go in the middle of the day.
Okay.
I want to go in with my audio recording device in one hand, the handcuffs we found in another, and walk right up to the front desk and ask what they can say about the accusations of prisoners escaping in the night. The people have a right to know. I'm a reporter.
inquiring minds.
All right.
We have to know if our streets are safe from these criminals. Again, waiting for a change of
It's
shift.
implying that they're criminals. Okay.
And of course, you know the language.
Well, yeah.
We'll go for intention, speech, and action.
I can do this.
All right. With a difficulty of 16.
Okay. So as long as this is one higher than this, I'm good. 11, 13. I did it.
You did it?
I won.
I won! Let's roll.
Woohoo!
Nice. You, as you go in, you see the 2 guards basically sitting in front of the jail cell where he is caught up. The local sheriff, local deputy are front desk. And so you go up and you have your badge and everything going up and you're saying your spiel and the 2 guards recognize you. But then as you say what you said, what you're suggesting, they suddenly look at each other and realize that we've lost more than just this guy. What's going on?
The bosses are going to be happy.
They quickly write down, scribble some notes, and they hand it to the guard and deputy and walk out the door. At which point the deputy is pointed to release him at once.
Okay.
and they basically suggest, and it's like, you did more than that, didn't you?
I'm just trying to get the story for the people.
It's a very interesting story.
It really is. You can read about it all in my future article in Sailing Big Boats.
the New York Times actual papers still exist, so if you want to relate yourself in background.
I wouldn't work for the New York Times for any amount of money.
New York slime.
Exactly.
Well, still, any
No,
newspaper. It's not like countries in cities and states stuff still exists. So if you
Right.
want to relate
Yeah.
to anything modern day, it would work.
So we've got him
you
out.
are released.
How did you do my cards, man?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. Did the guards give you back the ones they picked up? That was nice of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have to watch on my hands, so.
Yeah, but they did. Yeah. Okay.
I suggest we leave this area.
Okay, I'll play
Yes.
cards.
Let's. You remember this guy out here? He was the
Hey, boss.
guru.
Before setting off for Bod Gaya, Tenzang guides you to a small shop and purchase traditional regional garb for you. You're wanted now, and while the disguises aren't perfect, they will suffice for the brief journey. The next step is to figure out what mode of transportation you will use to get there. You can travel on foot, hitchhike, take a bus.
I gather we're probably all Caucasian. So yeah, we definitely don't blend in.
Oh,
I have to put away my business suit.
Oh, you can cover it
There's
up.
an Indian business.
It's gonna be
suit.
kind of
Yeah. Formal attire.
Okay.
I say hitchhike and rely on the kindness of others.
How far is the journey?
So pilgrimage, hitchhike, or take the bus.
What did everybody else do?
Everyone else basically scattered as much as they possibly could because it's harder for these guys to recapture them if they're all going in a big group. It'd be easier, but if they're all going all different directions,
They're the decoys now.
Oh.
We're the primary.
I see.
So,
Okay.
avoid the bus because there could be cameras. Hitchhike counts on the kindness of strangers, and we're actually moving. Walking just doesn't sound as effective.
Well, what's pilgrimage? What's that considered?
just on foot.
So
So
like
you just
hitchhiking.
walk and not have to rely on anybody
Okay.
else. But
Okay, so I just on. Well, there's too many of us to really hitchhike, right? I mean, there's 4 of us.
Not a good
Yeah.
farm truck. 4.
Is the monk following us then too?
Yes,
That's-
yes.
Yeah, the monk, he's guidance.
Can we have him hold the rope and levitate behind the vehicle?
Yeah, we can't
Sure takes a level of concentration.
Yeah.
at
He's
this
got
point,
8 on.
at this point, what do you think of the game so far? The way it works and kind of like the
Makes sense.
Yeah.
once you get into it a little bit,
It's
kind of
interesting.
see
Yeah.
what kind of combinations.
Not really sure what visioning, how that works.
Yeah, I kind of want to know more
Again,
about
a
the
lot of things-
resistance methods and then.
Yeah.
A lot of things aren't defined. It's kind of up to the Guru guide to figure out how to incorporate them throughout the mission.
You seem to be doing a fair job.
So like with
killing
the,
us
everything
off.
is dolphins.
Yeah, unlike last time, yeah. Well, this is a specific
Yeah.
guide to a lot of things and trying to branch out there a little bit to figure out what to do and where to go and how not to hurt people.
All that. Yeah.
Or trying to encourage other people to hurt people.
Yeah.
But then why do I take this thing to incite or inspire large groups?
No.
You could have them be a
Human shield? They are standing peacefully in front of our enemies,
Marching forward. I mean,
donning their red shirts of courage. I mean, solidarity.
Yeah.
if people die, that's gaining karma points. So that's one of the options. Since you already passed it, if I had rolled black on you capturing the ship, you would have several prisoners would have either fallen over or been captured or been shot, and you would have. There's a gain karma points for each one that happened to. So.
good thing we got a lot of white coins there.
Yeah. Okay.
So you said no to the bus.
Well, we'll hitchhike, I guess.
I think hitchhiking sounds the best out of the 3.
Right, hitchhiking
Which-
needs.
Give us the option of walking or hitting if we don't like the ride.
Hitchhiking is intention, action, and energy.
Let's see.
Oh, not me. My thumbs are broken off.
Is it gonna be all of us?
Just one,
Or
just one.
of us?
Oh, just one. Okay. Well,
I only got 12.
That's
let's
better
see.
than my 6.
Yeah.
I have 15. I have 15.
Hey!
Okay. The difficulty is 14.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So we can just roll better than the other dice.
Ooh.
That's good ones there.
Okay, then 15,
So, 31?
25, 31, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, okay, it's 10. What's it?
14.
14.
So,
Okay, that's
24, 27.
27. 31, 27. Oh.
The driver you were hitchhiking with tells of the authoritarian rule at Bod Gaia.
Oh, so it gives us a clue. Okay.
What about this authoritarian
Yeah,
rule of
tell-
Bug Guy?
Tell us about it, yeah. There's a way to get past it.
Just
Well-
basically says that it is
Our
difficult.
It exists.
Our guru should know something about getting past it. So.
Upon arrival at Bod Gaia, you enter the small town through the arched gateway, painted in yellow and white and red and pink stripes. Prayer flags flutter in the breeze, and the smell of spices and incense perfume the air. Interwoven with everyday noises of roads and conversation among both everyday residents and foreign pilgrims, you hear occasional chanting and the ringing of bells. Tenzang guides you through a narrow corridor between two ordinary-seeming apartment buildings, and you emerge into an open circular field several hundred feet across. To the left is a large temple that tapers upward to a point. Looking up, you notice a tall man sitting in lotus pose on a veranda built into the side of the temple. "His name is Shri," Tenzang says solemnly, following your gaze. "You will want to steer clear of him for a while." You wait for further explanation. None is given. Tenzang keeps walking, looking straight ahead. You follow, but you glance up again at the man on the veranda. Even at distance, this Shri is an imposing figure. He wears a long robe and has a shaved head. As you're observing him, he slowly turns his head and looks in your direction. For a moment, you wonder if he's looking right at you. But how could this be? After a moment, he rises and disappears from the veranda. Tenzang nods to two different guards at the edge of the field. Even the guards are monks here, and gestures for you to enter a stepwell into the center of a grassy circle. From the edge of the circle, you hadn't noticed that the center was actually a stairway. Down the steep steps you go, aspiring down to the ground 20 feet, 100 more. Then it's through a thick door onto a narrow wooden plank. Keeping hands on each other's shoulders, you cross the plank next in near total darkness for a quarter mile. Then Tenzang stops and rings a large bell in a niche in the wall, sounding a deep tone 3 times.
Thank you. Very immersive, yes.
I need to bring it
You wait
out
for a
now.
moment, 10 minutes, an hour, until you start to imagine you see something floating towards you. Is that a tree? The vessel arrives, piloted by a monk, of course, who is happy to see you. At first glance, you see the vessel as a magnificent feat of sculptural engineering, a steampunkish tree with floaters attached. On closer examination, however, you can tell this tree-shaped vehicle is actually a massive singular tree, a banyan tree, and still, from the looks of it, alive. A canopy of individual inflated leaves keeps the vessel afloat and offers privacy to passengers. The white trunk is made of interconnected tendrils, and among them are a series of 3 rooms that make up the interior of the vehicle. The main cabin in the middle, the pilot's quarters in front, and one more small room in the rear. You board and travel for a couple of hours, wandering the deck.
I like something there.
Tree.
He got a
okay.
hold of the rope.
Yes, here's your rope, sir.
Wandering the deck among the vine-like branches, the ozone-scented blackness lit here and there by gas lamps hung among the limbs of the ancient floating tree. Bright-eyed critters poke their heads out from between the branches now and then, making little crackling noises as if saying hello. You have the sense that the vessel on which you are traveling is also a conscious being, and the inflated leaves aren't leaves at all, but lungs. The tree's breath is a form of propulsion, carrying your party through the darkness in an entirely new dimension. The pilot of the vessel is another monk, and you talk with her for a while. She confirms Tenzang's story, and seems glad you decided to help. She herself is part of an enclave in Bod Gaia, and has not become in contact with Fra Damajaka.
You don't get a voice?
No, but from what she has heard of him, she tells you candidly that she fears for your safety on this quest. She does not hold up much hope that you will survive.
I feel for your safety. I don't think you'll survive.
Thinking-
That's so hard.
She didn't have a voice.
It's not quoted, it's just described.
Okay.
So
well,
that's
you
all.
describe her by speaking.
Thinking that she seems pretty pessimistic for a monk, you thank her for her well wishes and decide to go find Tenzang again.
Thank you for your well wishes.
Shit.
Do we have some rope? I have 49 feet now.
Okay.
Throughout the Lotus Dimension quest, PCs will engage in occasional training as nobles, drawn from a panoply of philosophical systems, including most notably Buddhism, but also Hinduism, Tai Chi, yoga, transcendentalism, and other traditions. These trainings will offer opportunities to strengthen PCs' eightfold skills. The Zeppelin realm the PCs are about to enter is normally only accessible to the powerful monks, and occasionally the most trusted nobles. Now the Black Lotus has eliminated nearly all of the nobles, and this band of PCs, although still in training, are our last hope. Meditation is an early step in their development for the challenges ahead. You find Tenzang in the central of the vessel's 3 chambers. You're about to ask him a few more questions when he says, "Before you continue as nobles, it would be beneficial for you to learn meditation." He sits on a small round cushion in front of the room with his back to you, and rests one hand inside the other in his lap, palms up. Glancing around at each other, you all shrug and sit cross-legged on cushions behind him.
Out of my legs.
"Breathe in," says Tenzang. "Breathe out. Slowly.
Oh yeah.
Concentrate on your breathing." You notice the slight hiss of air as the banyan vessel adjusts direction. You remember that the tree around you is breathing too. "Follow the breath," Tenzang says. "Let everything but the breath fall away. Thoughts will enter your mind. Do not engage them or dwell on them. Let them pass. Breathe." So,
Are we going to be a happy medium now?
one player rolls for the party. You need to use intention, concentration, and energy.
The same, none of us is a dwarf. Otherwise, be a small, medium, or large.
I got a 9.
What was the stats again? I was making a joke.
Intention, you're not concentrating, you're not meditating. Concentration and energy.
13.
Yeah, it's only 10.
Okay, so you want to roll?
Got it.
13.
The difficulty is 10.
Well, just get 3 above your other roll.
Okay. I got
Or it was 10?
Yes.
10, so that's 19.
Oh, so you're plus 3.
19, yeah, I'm plus.
So
Okay, I got 19 and
that's plus 2, so that's plus 5 over.
yeah.
You're set.
Yeah.
Okay. You have a totally mystical experience. Each player must share their PC's reaction to the meditation lesson.
PCs.
Your player characters.
Oh, player character. Oh my gosh.
You have a totally mystical experience.
That was. Whoa.
I saw myself being born. It was kind of gross.
As a result of the meditation
I
lesson,
saw you being born too.
the following player levels are adjusted. View +1 and mindfulness +1.
Oh. Okay. So does that mean our center number
Wait a minute.
becomes +2?
My mindfulness is already at 8.
Yeah, go up 9, I guess.
Be 9 then? The maximum was 8.
The maximum is 8. So
So it only goes up if it's not 8? Is that it?
yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
well that sort of.
Starting now, you may restore your life points through meditation twice per quest, for a total of 4 life points replenished per quest through meditation. Meditation requires a quiet, safe place.
So we're meditating right now, so I can recover my high points.
Yes,
Fantastic. I can take it. Okay.
as can you.
Cool.
So that means our center number is going to be 38 if you're able to add to both view and mindfulness.
Hmm.
I only do 37 because Mindfulness is already at 8.
And same here, my view's already at 8.
Well, I sucked in both, so I'm good.
There you go.
Alright.
Do we get any karma for that?
Lose karma. We don't want to gain karma.
Oh, do we lose any karma for that?
Lose karma. No. So you're sitting inside a giant flying tree, and you're breathing, following the breath, in, out. You think maybe you're starting to get it. But wait, the monk said you're not supposed to think. You glance at Tenzang, and as if you'd said his name, he turns toward you, lifting off of his cushion as he spirals, his legs still crossed beneath him, until suddenly he's sitting cross-legged in midair, floating a few feet off the ground. He frowns a bit sheepishly, as if embarrassed to should be showing off. He waves one hand in a gesture you didn't quite catch. You feel a distinct shift in the room, no, in your mind. "This is breaking the rules a bit," he says. A velvet silence opens within you. This effortlessly holds the thing that is you, but also separate from you. You recognize this sensation as familiar, as though you have returned to a natural default mental state with which you were born. You have no conscious memory of feeling this way before, yet you know it, and you want to stay with it. Clearly, this is not a typical meditation lesson. Tenzang seems to have accelerated your practice, fast-forwarding you to the equivalent of 1 year or more of sitting meditation. Tenzang says, "You are all beginners. Your powers are not yet strong, and your spells also will not yet be strong. You need to understand that those powers, while still developing, are very real. Magic is real in the Lotus Dimension, and if your mind is clear and focused, magic will be of great use to you in your travels through the Petal Realms." Then Tenzang pulls a stick of chalk out of his robes and begins to draw on the wooden wall. Show the PCs the spell chart on the following page and explain how spells work. To use a spell, the PC must have an 8 in the 8-fold level associated with that spell. As defined in the Karma progression chart in the player handbook, spells are unlocked in the Petal Realms after a PC's Karma drops below 800. Spells are unlocked on Earth after a PC's Karma drops below 400. Once obtained, spells may use freely on the lower level non-player characters as defined by character class Karma progression. Spells will automatically be successful without a dice roll when used on beings lower total skill level than oneself. It's also possible to use on spells on a higher level NPC. The greater the level differential, the less likely it is the spell will have an impact. A dice roll will determine the outcome of a spell used on a higher level NPC.
It's kind of like the Force, you know? The weak-minded is easy to manipulate.
Right.
So your karma has to be now 799, because below 800 allows you to use spells.
Did we drop it then?
Yes, drop it to 799.
Alright.
Alright.
So your spell options, if you have either an 8 in view or livelihood, you can choose between sleeping and perceiving.
Wait, you have view, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so sleep or perceive.
Okay.
So do we only get one?
You have one.
Okay.
Which one are you going with, Dad?
Well, it just like cause someone to be sleepy.
Well, let me double check to make sure these spells in and of themselves.
It actually helps you sleep, ironically. It's really weird. You
Cast
have-
sleep in the middle of combat.
Yeah. Guess we're in the middle of a.
Alright, the back section here.
It's a very, very deep meditation. So meditating at your
Hmm.
4 are considered blocking and 4 enhancing. So the blocking spell is sleeping and the enhancing spell is perceiving.
Perceiving. Does it say in here what it is?
Oh, it says if you have an 8 in view, you may use sleeping and perceiving spells.
Okay. Alright. So sleeping.
So he gets both, or are you just able to use both?
Either one. I can use it for a blocking spell. I use sleeping for perceiving.
Let's see if there's anything spells in here.
Yeah. See.
No, there wasn't any.
No, there's nothing in there. It's in the GM
Description.
section. So yeah, it's only in
Said
the
it was
GM
in the
section.
player's book.
Yes.
They had a list of them in there.
So for intention or energy, your choices are weakening and fortifying.
What do you have your 8 in?
View or speech. So I was curious as to the.
Speech is silencing and projecting.
What is projecting?
It's when you have an emotion.
Allows you to project your own voice or image.
Okay.
Oh, that sounds good.
Great voice.
So it's both
Yes.
silencing or projecting.
And for concentration and action, it's immobilizing and freeing.
Nope.
So nobody has any aids in that. Okay, so for your view and livelihood, sleeping causes the NPC to fall asleep. Perceiving allows the PC to perceive intentions or read minds in a situation. The Guru Guide determines the info you receive. For intention and energy, weakening reduces the NPC's overall level during an encounter by 8 points. Fortifying increases the PC's overall level during an encounter by 8 points. Nobody has that?
What? Which one?
Intention or energy?
I have mindfulness.
Mindfulness allows you silencing and projecting. Silencing causes the NPC to fall silent or lose the ability to communicate. And projecting allows the PC to project their own voice or image.
So you both have projecting and
So-
silencing?
But we only are choosing one set, correct? I got 2 8s. That's why
Oh,
I'm
you have
confused.
2 8s. Well,
it just says,
I think you only get one pair of spells.
yeah, I think so.
So if I go with the silence and projecting, you should probably go with the other one then, I guess.
Yes, the other one.
Okay. So you have the same. Okay.
Yeah.
to use a spell, you just says you have to have an 8 and 8-fold level associated with that spell.
So as we get more,
So do I got both then? Both sets?
I guess not.
As defined in the karmic progression chart, you have spells unlocked, so you can cast them in the petal realms at below 800. Okay. Once obtained, these spells may be used freely on lower level NPCs defined by character class karmic progression.
Let me take
Okay, take a look at your character. Yeah, I was like,
well, not the character, but
They needed some rules lawyers to play their game first.
Yeah, they said they had like tons of other stuff going on, but
access to spells in the petal rooms. PCs may use spells which they have earned and learned.
okay. So if you,
Oh, that makes sense.
if you have 8s, then a couple of them should be able to learn the spells for both of those.
Presumably, we're doing them all at the same time. We have the same
Yeah.
amount of time to learn those spells.
Right. But if he got lucky and one of his 7s bumped up to an 8.
Yes. Now he has 2 8s. Yes.
Right. I still think we ought to get a 9.
Yeah, see, this says, led by the Guru Guide, PCs will earn, and players will learn to use, their first spells in Magic through gameplay during quests 1 through 4.
What quest we on?
you're on quest 1.
So, is one spell associated with a particular stat?
It just says PCs may use spells when they reach level 8 in either category below. So view or livelihood involves sleeping and perceiving. Intention or energy is weakening and fortifying.
So, if you have 8 in a stat, you get it spelled. Is that right? Or is it not right?
So it sounds like, yeah.
That's what it says.
Okay. So, what was the other? I got the silencing and projecting. What was the view?
View is sleeping and perceiving.
Okay.
So you have spells I have and the spells he has.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's kind of a shame. We duplicate spells, but that's all right. Whatever.
See, I'd see one spell per stat would make sense.
Well, you
Well,
can
but
see
they-
the diagram
They
here.
only have 8
terms of-
spells, but they only
Yeah.
but they're in doubles.
Sleeping, perceiving. Yeah.
Well, it kind of makes sense to have a offensive and a defensive spell. Or smell.
Right. But 2.
There's only offenses.
Question. How do you have a defensive smell?
Okay.
And it doesn't say which spells in that part of the guide we learn.
That's just the chart over here is saying sleeping, perceiving.
Right.
And that just describes what you get as far as blocking.
Does it say we unlock one spell or in the
One pair
No,
of
all it
spells
says in the
or
other thing,
quest?
like the rules are kind of split up between the actual
Right.
guide itself and this. But it just says any anything you have an 8 in the 8-fold.
Okay.
If that's how it's phrased, then yeah, you get all the spells.
Okay.
Yeah.
So halfway on learning all the spells.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alrighty.
Obviously, you can only use them in this realm. And you
Right.
have to, yeah.
Until below 400 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, let's continue. Tenzang says, I will guide you to the Zeppelin realm, and I will not be able to accompany you to the monastery. One particular bit of magic blocks me from going there. Along your way, you will encounter small beings called Trillimans?
Tribbles?
No. Tryllabbyns. Trillabines?
Try.
Yeah, Llabyns.
Relevance?
So I was thinking Trillabins, Trillabines.
Okay.
Whatever.
Tribbles.
Name are scattered throughout the Zeppelins, and are very occasionally venture to Earth and beyond. They seem harmless, but this is a cunning deception. The name, I'll just say the name,
Yes.
Trillabines, have the power to distract and mesmerize and then take what they want. You will know they are trying to hypnotize you when their eyes start glowing purple. Don't let them do it!
Do our spells work on them? In this realm?
Fra Damashaka has enlisted tribbles in the mass hypnosis of the entire monastery. The monks are more susceptible to their magic than other people. A strange irony. To clear and more focused in the mind, the more easily the Trillabines can harness it. We have always used the singing bowl of clarity to ward off their hypnosis. You must find it and ring it to restore our freedom. Again, you feel the tree vessel slow and gently lurch to a landing. Looking out, you see that you've arrived at the face of a massive cliff, which towers hundreds of feet upward into the sky and disappears into the mists of uncertain depths below. The pilot uses a long wooden pole to extend a rope bridge to a rickety wooden landing dock, built into a crevice in the massive cliffs. The Banyan Zeppelin seems to heave a sigh overhead. Its sinuous tendril branches reach out to caress the cliffside. Tenzang gestures to a series of wooden planks that have been built into the contours of the cliffside to form a path. The plank is very narrow and has no railing. That is the quickest path in the monastery, he tells you. I have walked it many times, and I wish I could walk it with you now. But the pilot, overhearing this, shakes her head. She points to the cliffside where a ladder built into the rock rises up to the top ridge line, nearly obscured by the fog. Climb that ladder and walk the ridge line instead, she says. It's a beautiful walk, and you'll see the plants and wildlife you've never encountered before. More importantly, you'll approach the monastery from above, so it's more likely you'll arrive undetected. Tenzang shrugs. Trust your instincts, he says. Whichever you choose, watch your step. Those zeppelins are floating mountains, and there's nothing to catch your fall in the mists below. Remember the things we discussed. I look forward to seeing you again. He hugs each of you as you step out into the rope bridge toward the landing dock.
I'm at 48 feet of rope.
Oh, I almost forgot, he says, laughing. The map! He hands you the hand-drawn map of the monastery, and jabbing a finger toward the central attic space
Pokes
with
a hole
a
through it.
rounded roof. Here is where the singing bowl is hidden. Any of the 3 doors to that space should be unlocked. As you step onto the landing dock and the pilot begins to pull back the rope bridge, Tenzang calls, Watch out for the Trillabins!
Watching out for the tribbles.
So here's a map of the monastery.
Okay.
And he points toward the central attic
I
space
think
with a
he printed that
rounded
down on my
roof.
computer. I don't think he hand drew that.
Points to the central attic space with
Yeah.
a rounded
Silo.
roof.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Give the players a copy of the monastery map. Your copy is in part 7.
Okay.
Well, I say we take the path you like to walk.
I hope there's no pumas in that crevasse. Anyway.
You better have a good night with you.
Players
Yeah.
now decide which route to take to the monastery. The first option is to follow Tenzang's advice to take the plank path built along the cliff. This path to the monastery is about a mile and will take a few hours. It is slow going, walking in single file along treacherous heights. Players won't. Second option is to follow the Zeppelin's pilot's advice to climb a ladder up the 1,000-foot vertical cliff face. Walk the ridgeline to a point above the monastery, then descend.
I'll be honest, guys. I am not good with energy or action. So whichever requires the least amount of that.
I can't tell you which one.
Exactly.
I
until
think we
choose.
take Tenzen's advice.
Just walk the.
Walk
Yes.
to the ladder, the bridge. That would seem to take concentration and maybe something like
Take the
Yeah.
plank path along the
My
cliffside.
concentration
Sure.
is also 1, so that's the worst for me.
that. Yeah.
As you know.
Do we all have to take the same course? Or can we split up?
We all.
Split the party.
Okay.
Even in Lotus.
We don't
We don't-
split the
Look what
party.
happened last time. I got sent to jail.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's right.
So
Okay.
for this, you're going to need view, action, and concentration.
View,
Oh.
action, and concentration.
One player rolls for the party.
I'm
Okay.
at 13.
8.
Okay, I've got, let's see,
You're
14,
rolling.
and
You're at
concentration.
18.
18,
The
yeah.
difficulty is 12.
You got
So you're plus 6.
Whoa, sevens.
Oh, boy.
So you're at 28
Hey, you got jackpot.
compared to whatever's on the dice.
Okay.
Yeah, compared to 16.
12, yeah.
28 to 16.
All right.
Alright, so.
It's just easier to subtract the numbers and do a
Yeah.
plus or minus.
Mhm. Right. You see a clearing in the mist and can already start to make out the monastery. Your spirits are lifted.
Mhm. Your spirit is lifted, my son.
However,
Try to mark up another foot of rope.
a section of the path is missing. You need to use inventory items to get across the gap or scale the cliff face.
I have some rope.
I have 2 flares we can.
Dude, we are not burning down the planks!
For this
Okay.
roll, you will need concentration, action, and energy.
Concentration,
Here, somebody else take the rope.
action,
Those are really my 3 worst sets.
energy.
Which means they should be.
Oh, those are 1, 2, and 4.
17.
You're gonna do it again. You're
I
just
got
good for
17.
everything, aren't you?
Yeah.
So you have 17.
17.
And what's the difficulty?
12.
12.
So you're plus 5.
Okay, so that's.
So you're 16.
Yeah.
It's your plus 5
Versus, yeah.
Okay.
versus
Let's see.
11.
11.
You're
Alright.
good.
Okay.
Roll. Okay. You each help each other and each receive -5 karma.
Alright.
Ooh.
Otherwise, you lose your patience and start snapping at each other and each receive +1 karma.
Uh-huh.
Maybe back to up to 100 and we can use our spells.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
Yeah, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Learn the spells. Now never use them again.
Yeah.
It probably would have been bad just to throw the Zeppelin pilot off the thing. And
Mm.
I mean, we're maxed out at 888, so at
Yeah.
that point we can just go an evil campaign.
I don't think that's the point of the game.
we could have done that from the start with the guns, but we didn't.
Yeah. All right.
That is true.
Go Rambo on them.
All right.
Just ahead, at a spot where the path widens, you
So
see
wait, so question: did he end up having to use up the rope that I had in order
Well,
to do that?
we,
or-
we,
Nah, you
we
can
helped
do it
each
just
other,
like that.
so we didn't use the rope
Oh.
up. We
Okay.
just-
So my 48 feet of rope.
Just ahead, at the spot where the path
Smoking
widens,
somebody?
you see a trio of short humanoid figures. These must be the Trilobins. You'd hope that by choosing this route you could avoid them, but no. They don't seem at all dangerous. They're small with slender limbs. Weren't for their wide-pointed heads. From a distance, they would look like children. They're actually sort of cute. They're smiling. They have big purple eyes that, wait, are their eyes glowing? Uh-oh.
No, don't look.
I looked through my crystal, so I can, it's transparent crystal. So I don't have to look them directly in the eyes. Yeah.
Each
That's
of you
my
need
story.
to roll concentration, mindfulness, and energy.
All right. Let's see.
Well, mindfulness I got. The other 2 ain't so high.
What's the difficulty?
14.
All right, -2 for me.
Oh, my brain. Oh,
Well, I missed by 3.
So, fail.
Fail.
that's, and What was their number? 13?
14.
14.
Could I have
Okay.
a lower difficulty since I'm trying to look through my crystal in order to be able to look at them? Does that change anything?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, I guess I failed.
Yeah, I
25,
failed
29.
too.
Okay, so you all failed?
Not by much, but yes.
So you all still fail.
Yeah.
Minus
a little
2
bit. Minus
to all of
2.
your life points.
Okay.
Okay.
What does a life point represent?
Okay, it was failed PC roll. The Trilobans are content with their hypnotizing and continue on down the path away from the monastery, chuckling amongst themselves.
So they don't like mess with us in any way. They just
No,
hypnotize us.
no. You may still continue toward the monastery.
So we get unhypnotized,
You were damaged,
damaged,
and
yeah,
they're
but we're
content.
not-
They're not going to mess it. They just continue on down the path.
We're no longer hypnotized.
They don't like try to steal anything from us or hurt us in any other way besides
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
The brats.
Okay. We'll have to meditate and get back our life. Anyway.
Right, so life point description is very vague.
Yeah.
You continue toward the monastery, which looms before you now like a fairy tale castle. If fairy tale castles were misty and ominous and built into the unending cliff faces and guarded by purple-eyed hypno-hobbits. Still, it's a breathtaking sight, and you wonder. Before you can finish that thought, you hear a raspy voice just over your head. Nice view from here, eh? You jolt and look up to see a rather large amethyst-hued chameleon with silver eyes perched on an outcropping. Before you can respond, the chameleon winks one eye and then turns and vanishes into the rocks above.
Wonder who that was.
You weren't warned about silver eyes.
Cheshire Lizard.
Seems that way.
Yes. Very well.
The monastery is built from white marble, and the entire structure seems to have been plucked from a myth and set into a cliff like a jewel being set in a ring. From here, it looks like a diorama, not a functional building, but real it is, and as you scan the layout of it on approach, it seems fairly well aligned with the map that Tenzan gave your party. You can see the group of monks between one side of the monastery and a wide, excavated crevasse that disappears behind it. Each monk trudges along carrying a bucket. Behind them, you see other groups of monks swinging pickaxes at rock clusters. Trios of trilobans are posted along the path, giggling occasionally. Time to wake your way into the monastery and find that singing bowl.
Monster or prison?
Monastery.
Yeah, but like, they're
Yeah.
pickaxes.
Okay.
Oh,
Alright, I don't know how much longer you want to continue with this. It's already past 8 o'clock. Or you want to just call it a night?
Either way.
So is there a long path to the bowl?
Yes, actually. They didn't want to,
A good
it seemed like
cutting
a good cutting off point if you
Okay.
wanted to call it for this
Yeah.
session. You kind of get a basic
Yeah,
idea of
that's
how
what
the
we
game works and what you're going for. And,
Fortunately, we never got anybody in chat, which again, I don't really blame them because what followers we haven't been, broadcasting on a regular basis.
No.
So,
no. But at least we played something,
yes.
Yeah.
and you enjoyed it.
Yep.
Sure.
We made some
After all this time, I put like $60, $70 into this package, and it's like, I'm going to use it. I'm going to play it at some point. I'm going to run this thing.
Yeah.
I'm glad it makes sense and we're all able to,
To a degree, like you pointed out, there's a lot of vague aspects to it. That's again, they needed a rules lawyer to really question. Well, wait a minute, what do you mean by this?
Not even a
Clarify
rules lawyer,
that.
just
Comment,
a simple.
description of what these things mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the logical thing is if you lose life points, you're going to have to reincarnate
When you get down to 0, yeah.
and lose your robe. Your robe. Yeah.
It does make me wonder how much fun it would be to try and do a 5e campaign with nothing but pacifist characters.
Yeah.
Mm.
Bards and clerics, I suppose.
You could
Well,
do the Redeemer
I
Paladin.
think now that we know that
There's that. Yeah, you're right.
I wish
that-
they had that monk
mm,
that was in the UA.
yeah. Now that we know that you get special spells for. We would probably have to pick a character to get at least one of the other 2 spells that we didn't get.
I had an 8 in our spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you thought that generally picking, you got all the best stats, obviously, for what we were
Apparently,
doing.
I got, well, for a lot of the stuff been done, yeah. stealth stats. Well, actually, I picked the way I laid them out. I went view, and then energy was my second choice, and then action. So I figured those, of course, view I got from my character, but the energy and action just seemed like a good thing to do. But I need to move quick.
True.
And
So
For me, I chose
Yeah.
mine. My lowest one being concentration, energy, and action because he's a stoner. So I mean, I chose for RPing.
Yeah.
That, okay, these are the stats that would be appropriate.
all right.
My
yeah.
favorite, and I don't know if you read this or not.
Mhm.
The self-awareness of what one is thinking, saying, doing. Right. Mindfulness. The focus of one's mindfulness. Right. Concentration.
Mhm.
yeah. It's not even close to perfect.
And I'm
but
sitting
yes.
here going, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. That
It's-
going on.
But also just the fact that they try and make an acronym for how to organize all the stats and everything, and even they couldn't really come up with a very good one. They said, "Hey, if you come up with a good one, please tell us what it is." And I was just thinking like Fallout, they have special. It's
Right.
Boom, right there, done, special, easy to remember.
It's a cool idea, but they really should have spent a lot more thought in development. I know a really good D8 system. This isn't exactly.
No.
But the system has its interests.
I think the general rolling in and of itself, giving it difficulty and giving the specific stats, kind of
Yeah.
relates to a lot of other.
Well, is it really that much different from Star Wars?
Yes, in that Star Wars is more interpretive, not this
Symbols
number
and
above
advantage
this.
and
True.
success and failure.
Well,
and
that's
this
where the
is-
coin comes in, kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, but this is a lot more vague and. Well, like, here's one of the things
So is Buddhism,
is
but whatever.
Mhm.
the weird abilities.
Uh-huh.
Where was it? So I laughed. Oh, why can't they do this in alphabetical order? Journalist at 488. Plant a story. Allows journalists immediately to plant a story in the mainstream press, perhaps leaking secret information or sharing truth with the masses. But no expectations, so I'm assuming I can just put out whatever.
And how is that going to affect gameplay? I guess you're.
Well, preferably
The
the truth.
masses.
If you're intentionally spreading lies,
That would
Oh,
add
yeah.
karma.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mail allows a journalist to turn a foe into an ally with a key piece of information, possibly solving an encounter with gaining a long-term contact or a short-term ally. Gray mail.
It's,
A lot of the things are quite the stretches of, okay, we're trying to make all pacifist.
Right.
Like, it's almost like cartoon logic of me tricking somebody in order to do something. Or moon logic, if you will.
Do you think it'd be more possible to do in 5th edition to create a pacifist group based on the rules, or is 5th edition just murder hobos all the time?
No, it can be done. I can think of many classes that could do it. Couple of the clerics can, not like.
Basically magic and defensive type.
Abjuration. You could do it with an illusionist. Transmuter if you're careful. Redemption Paladin. Monks. Rogues with their bonus action dodge. Bards can make sense. Barbarian, not so much. I could build a defensive fighter that you're never gonna touch. Fey Warlock.
Obviously, the ability is to be able to speak with animals or
Yeah.
have multiple languages in general, not comprehend languages.
A ranger that just uses tripping. You could do it. It would be very hard to run through a standard adventure, but it would be rather funny.
You Because either it would be convincing somebody to be your friend, it would be dodging around the encounter entirely, or somehow just capturing them without killing them.
Like they have the recommendation section, I guess, somewhere in the middle of this in terms of
Oh,
what would you do?
the example
Just a
encounter.
forever
Yeah,
grapple?
example encounter.
The
Yeah.
example encounter was silly.
Yeah.
A grappler, as long as you're careful with them. You're not taking the barbarian with the berserker armor stuff. You can do it. Sanctuary, protection from good and evil are going to be two very big spells wanted.
So yeah, streamlining the math, it suggests that rather than adding 2 columns, the Guru Guide can first note the difference between the situational difficulty and the character skill level. For example, if the difficulty is 18, the character ability is 17, just maybe starting out -1. That way the dice
Right.
roll, the player knows simply needs to roll.
And that's what I ended up doing towards the end is it's just like, okay, it's plus or it's minus to my roll, and then compare it to the other.
But then why have the dynamic that,
It's the same math.
yeah.
Yeah.
It just, you no longer have to do this plus this plus this, and keep 2 numbers in your head.
Well, no, you write it down.
So like, let's say you encountered a gang of armed bandits who are blocking the road, holding prisoners, and/or starting fires. In other games, yes. In other games, the situation might result in a violent confrontation. In Lotus Dimension, players have challenged to generate tactics that address the problem peacefully, and it includes not hurting the bandits.
14 options, I think?
Yes.
14.
Depending on the clues written in the scene and the skill sets to PC in your party, you might 1. Engage the bandits in conversation and negotiation. 2. Send your monk out to meditate on the road and distract the bandits while you free the prisoners, put out fires, and usher members of your party beyond the blockade. 3. Use a
Put your
spell.
bard out.
Use a spell if you have one to render the bandits incapable of moving or harming anyone. 4. Have your illusionist create an effect to distract the bandits or obscure your group as you pass. 5. Spot the bandit who is disgruntled and most likely to turn against his comrades. Find a way to win his confidence and gain his assistance. 6. Send your free runners up the cliffside to survey the scene, spot a weakness behind the blockade, and or find an unexpected route around the bandits. 7. Roll in a barrel of beer. If you don't have a barrel of beer, make inventive use of another object you carry or find in the area. 8. Hack the bandits' communication devices to lure them elsewhere. 9. Wait for the cover of darkness to sneak by. 10. Have your artist build a sculpture that captures their attention and gently, temporarily captures the bandits themselves. 11.
Again, cartoon logic. It's like, oh, give me a minute.
This sounds like Risus.
So you do
I
like
don't know if you've ever read Risus, but download it.
11. Disguise a member of your party as a bandit and infiltrate the group. 12. Allow yourselves to be captured and look for a solution from within. 13.
Yeah, that was your idea.
Go a different way and come back later. Maybe they'll be gone. 14. Have your shaman enter a trance state to communicate with nearby spirits for information that might sway the bandits. 15. Have your journalist or wanderer examine the bandits to find any symbols they may see as bad luck and strategize a ruse to scare them away. If you're a gamer accustomed to a paradigm of meeting violent situations with violent solutions, it might be challenging at first. The more you play and the more skill sets your character and the other characters around you, the more alternative, creative, and often funny and fantastical solutions will start to occur to you. If your character tries to fly off a cliff without a vehicle, animal, or spell to support them, that character will die. A character whose life points diminish to 0 will also die. Characters must regularly replenish their 8 life points with rest, medication, etc.
So, yeah.
Now you got me thinking of all these pacifists that could be built in 5e and actually work. It's probably not a pacifist if you summon a swarm of 64 animals.
No.
Or unbound.
No.
Stampede. Yeah.
No.
Or was it pixies or sprites?
Oh, yeah.
Pew, 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 pew.
I summoned 16 sprites. What TM let you get them?
But it has potential.
Wow, thirsty.
I think as the Guru Guide, as with any game master, dungeon master, could make alterations on their own. It's their game as much as this original version. To have read further in advance. Do you want to keep playing this next week? Or?
We might as well get to the goal.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely different.
Until we make advancements in our own game.
Alright, until next time, happy gaming. Hope you enjoyed the stream, and we'll see you next week. And at some point, some Saturday, for more of our game, or more Curse of Strahd, or something else. But until next time, happy gaming.